So this is my take on a Viva, a Peacock Viva, and it's got the the colours, really good colours for early season trout fishing, whether that be smaller still waters or indeed the big reservoirs. This one's tied for the reservoirs. Um, this one particularly for the middle dropper. If I'm fishing a team of three, it's not a difficult fly to tie, but it's one that's very, very effective. So just combining those two colours, the Viva colours, but with this Peacock, uh, it's like a braid body. I'll show you. But it's got that lovely reflection on it. It just looks the business. So for early season fishing, boat or bank, I like to have the colour combination of black and green. And this one, obviously you can tie it in bigger sizes, but this is the one that I like. So I'll show you how to tie it. The first thing I'll do is I'll get a hooking device. This is your usual mini lures hook. It's a standard wet fly, size 10, and I'm going to tie the fly with black thread. This is a 1/0 thread, 1/0 or 8/0, either will do. And then I'm just going to take the thread down the shank to a point opposite the point there. And I want to tag in this stuff, glow bright number 12. So what we do is I take about a foot, and then I double it over again, and then double it over again. So I've taken that foot and I've doubled it over quite a few times to get quite a thick bit. Now I want to tie this in such a way so I've got a little bit of space at the head. Because the braid's bulky, I've left a little space. It just makes things a bit easier when it comes to tying in the Marabou. So take that down the body. Again, keeping things nice and as even as you can. And I like the tag to be the length of the hook. So I just stop there and snip it at the bend of the hook. Give it a little ruffle up. Make sure it's on top of the hook shank, so it's not spun around. And I want to get my braid, this stuff, metallic braid, made by Gudebrod, and it's thick and it's a bit clunky, but it's actually really good to tie with. I've got it in quite a lot of different colours, and I use it a lot on mini lures. So I've just snipped off a wee length there. Again, like I did with the floss, I'm going to leave myself some space at the head and just tie that in right down to the end of the body. Take your thread back up at the way. Park it at the front. As in most flies, I always put a hitch in when I'm doing certain sections. So just pull this tight when you wind it, and get it in nice touching turns. You can really pull it tight because it's a solid material, like solid. So just make sure that you're not wrapping the tail there. And then wind round in touching turns. Like I say, the stuff's thick. It's not got to be super neat. It's quite clunky, but at that size, the fish aren't going to see anything untoward. And then give yourself a bit of space at the head and just lock off with a thread wrap there. A couple more. And those come in. I usually use a craft knife when I'm cutting synthetics and man-made fibres, but because this is a braid, I prefer scissors. Just take a couple of wraps, tidy that area. Just smooth it off so you've got a taper to work on. And then I've got jet black Marabou. This is Dave Downey's stuff. Other stuff I like is Comp Candy stuff. You're basically not going to get dye out of your fingers when you're using it. It's really good. And I want a lot, not too much, but enough to create a wing. So I want about 1 inch of Marabou there. I'll pinch that inch off, and what I do is get my thumb and forefinger and spin it. Just binds the feathers together a bit better. And then if you run it through your thumb and forefinger, you'll get a flat edge to work with. If you pull it too hard, you'll rip it. But you're basically putting some of the grease of your fingers on top of the Marabou and creating a flat edge. and catch this in with a pinch and loop. Some people like to cut the tips off before tying it in. I didn't like that because quite often the wing will pull out, so I like to secure the whole lot and then trim. It's not as neat, but I know the wing's not got a pull out. So come up with your scissors at a 45-degree angle, same angle as the wing. Be careful of the wing and just snip it as close as you do. You can tidy this up with thread wraps, you see. And then just with controlled thread wraps, working for the eye back, making sure you're bedding down that Marabou. And as you can see, because you've got that braid there, you've got to get a big head anyway. You've got Marabou in there and you've got some of that braid. So I don't worry about that. As long as my Marabou's not got to pull out. It's whip finish. Then my craft knife. And I just got to take the Marabou and trim with my thumb and forefinger. Just snip it, pinch and pull it the same length as the tail. Small fly. There you go. Got a little bit added security, obviously a bit of varnish on the head there. You can see it's just a lovely little fly. Perfect colours, black and green, spot on. A little bit of flash, that body. Just sort of gives it a little bit of punch, you know. Now, I've just remembered the braid that you're looking for, hence the name, it's a peacock. It's called Peacock. Gudebrod Peacock, there's a colour there. Peacock. Round metal braid. That's the stuff that you're after. If you can get it, if you do get it, give me a shout, because I'll have some more.